Last week's video we spoke about sales efficiency and sales effectiveness, and in today's video we're going to talk about how you can determine what to do with it and what kind of your tasks are actually efficient and effective. Welcome back to the channel, beautiful people. If you haven't watched the video from last week, I highly recommend you head over now, pause this video, head over to the video from last week, because this video today is basically built on last week's video. So I will link it down below. If you have to head over, then please do so. And for the future, maybe you consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you get informed when new videos go live. So if you have been here last week, then welcome back. And I assume you have written down, you printed out the tracker that I mentioned and have written down all the tasks you did all week long, or maybe a couple of days, whatever you did. I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you brought it to today's video. So please have pen and paper ready, get your tracker out and have an additional pen in your hand so you can make a note and maybe write down what we are going to talk about. For today's video, please also, if you haven't yet, you can, or later on, you can download the priority matrix. It's in the same link. It's linked down below. It's again for free. You can then use this tool, the matrix that I created for you, to basically write down the tasks and have a very visual reminder on what you should focus your time on and what not. And maybe if you share your office with someone or you work with someone, you might want to pop it and maybe just write a name down to whom you delegate it. Very easy peasy, nicely done. And also very transparent so everyone knows what their responsibility is. By the way, there's obviously super fancy software, and you can use software and track your time and be all busy on your phone. However, I prefer going old school because it makes you more mindful to take a pen and a piece of paper and write it down. And also, we are not getting into the temptation of using our phone to just very quickly check social media, Instagram, and just keep scrolling, because you probably know how these apps were created to basically be addictive. So being old school is my way to go, but whatever works for you, please do you and do whatever you want. For me, important is that you know what you're doing when in your week. How do you spend your time? Whether this is efficient or not, we're going to talk about this now. So again, if you have watched last week's video about sales effectiveness and efficiency, then please pause this video, go to the video from last week, and then come back to this one here. They are basically relevant for one another. So the first thing we want to do with your list that you have hopefully in front of you is to have this list. So you have done already this, you can tick the box and should have a list with all your current sales activity, or your everyday, current daily activity, weekly activity, how you're basically spending your time. And as I said, if you're a jewelry creative and you are maybe a small business owner, it's just a one person kind of thing, then you might have to wear different hats, and maybe you are not a full-time salesperson and maybe not a full-time creator, maybe you even have a full-time job and you're just doing this in your spare time, then this list might be a bit shorter for you. However, you should still have this list in order to be able to see where to spend your time, and for you then it's even more important to spend your time effective and efficient. So now we do want to go and check how effective and efficient are these tasks. And by this we are going to take our priority matrix, or Eisenhower Matrix, that basically determines what are important tasks, what are urgent tasks, what tasks are not urgent but important, and what tasks are neither nor. And then we take it from there, after we popped all our tasks in this matrix, what to do with this. So we do want to go through the list and do want to see what tasks have high effectiveness, i.e. have a high impact. And we also do want to determine what of the tasks have high urgency, i.e. high efficiency. So to go back to last week's video, we said that efficiency, sales efficiency, is how am I using my time? How am I using my time as a sales rep or as someone who is in sales? And then we have sales effectiveness. What is basically coming out of this task? Like, am I able to drive revenue from whatever I'm doing? So you can maybe write a little note or write it in your matrix to see what kind of tasks on your list that you're doing at the moment, and maybe you have identified tasks you're not doing yet but you should really be doing. And hint, this might be to actually pick up the phone and call people, or outreach with like direct messages, mail, whatever, right? Go to events, go to be visible, show your beautiful face, go on a stage, go to networking events, whatever it might be. maybe these tasks are completely missing on your list. And I get you, it's not everyone's cup of tea. However, this might be really important for you, because in order to do what you love, which is designing and selling jewelry, you actually need to make money, right? Otherwise, it's just a hobby. So we're here for business. So again, think about which kind of tasks are missing. It should be on this. These tasks, like as I just mentioned, outreach, are high impact and high urgency, because you need to have this ready. You do want to build a pipeline of customers. So you're not desperate to sell, but you have people in the pipeline who get used to your brand and to maybe filter out whether this is for them or not. You want to have a sales funnel, etc., to just be able to make your life easier, right, over time. So to have all the time people in your sales pipeline, and you don't have to refill this desperately whenever you're running out. I'm happy to do a full video about this. So basically, one of the biggest risks of having a sales pipeline is that we fill this pipeline, and then we are so busy with like closing the sales that come out of it that we forget to fill it. You can imagine this like a big filter. We forget to fill it up with new clients or prospects, so this dries out. And this is one of the really big risks when we have an not efficient sales process and are not very planful with our time. And I have a whole video about sales process on this channel, so I will link it down below as well for you. But so we do want to go through this list and really do see what tasks are important and what tasks are maybe not that important, right? So what tasks have a high impact, are important for you, and you can replace impact and important. It's basically for you at this time the same. And what is the urgency? So how quickly do you need to get this done? Is this time relevant? An example for a task that is low in impact but high in urgency would be CRM. You do want to update the client's data right after you spoke to them. You do not want to postpone this, because the risk is just too high that you forget. It's somewhere on your notes and no one else has access to this information. You maybe throw out the paper or whatever it might be, or you can't remember what kind of customer it was, yada yada yada, 1,000 reasons. So you do want to get this done as quickly as possible, to have it out of the way, to basically get things done and go back to whatever you're doing that is maybe more impactful, and urgent, but also that you have these things done, to just get them done now, because this might be relevant information if the customer calls back later, etc. Your colleagues need to be able to see what was happening. Also, you need to be able to know what was happening, because we cannot remember all of our customers at one point. We might lose their faces, or maybe we have never seen their faces, etc. We do want to make a note if this is relevant. So get these things done. If you don't have set up a CRM system, I highly recommend you do. And yes, please, obviously, stick to data regulation and all of these things. However, you do want to keep track of the customer. You do want to know what is going on, or you can ask them if they want to stay in touch. You can ask them if they want to subscribe to your email list, whatever it might be. So start collecting data, start building an email list, etc. So all of this is important, but not right now. You know what I mean? Like, it might not lead right away to a sale. So only because the customer subscribes to your email list might not be the next one you're selling to. This is why we, for example, have with lead magnets, email sequences we send out, etc. If you want a video about this, we can do this in a different video. Please just let me know in the comments below. One example for high impact and low urgency would be marketing, content creation, and to basically create brand awareness. This is incredibly important. Of course, it's very important because we need different touch points where our clients, or future clients, potential clients, can get in touch with our brand and basically become aware of our brand. And I will do some more videos about the whole marketing, etc. around this, but this is important. However, it's not urgent, right? So this would be one of these typical tasks where your time might not be very well spent doing this. Maybe the time would be way better spent doing something high impact, high urgency, like reaching out to customers, selling to customers, scheduling in sales calls, whatever it might be, and have someone who creates content for you. Yeah, so this is relevant, but not for you. It's not urgent for you to create this. And then we have the tasks on your list that have low impact, so low importance and low urgencies. And these are the tasks you do want to think about really, really, really hard whether these are relevant for you or whether you should let them go at all. completely. Let them go. Delete them. Avoid them. Whatever. And I'm not talking about tasks like taking a break. This is obviously super important. So no. These ones we are not going to delete. But things like going to meetings where you don't get any leads from and it's basically a waste of time. Or being in clubs where you're a member because you maybe feel guilty of leaving, but it's not beneficial for you. Or maybe you're traveling a lot to different things, but or maybe you're going to a certain fair, but it's actually not where your target customer is. And it's actually not really interesting for you to be there. There's also no potential for you coming out of this, etc. So these are the things you do want to check. They might become more relevant at a later point, but for now, should you be focusing on these? So please pause the video and basically go over the list and identify what kind of tasks have you done and are they important, or do they have high impact, and or are they urgent? So make a note behind every task and you can pause the video right here and get over to your list and just do it. Once you've done this, and please come back to me and we're going to talk about the next step. I'll wait here. Glad you're back. By now you should be able to see how much time do you spend doing different things. How much of your time are you spending on high impact revenue generating tasks? And how much of your time are you wasting or doing things that are none of your business? And I know it's very tricky, we have to wear lots of hats. However, we do want to get crystal clear about this. And this should also help you to determine when are you the busiest with customers, when are you actually creating the outcome you do want to create or the outcome you're actually getting paid for or whatever. And when are the times maybe your personal energy is also low, it's calmer, it's quiet, you can't reach your customers, no one is reaching out to you, it might not be the time to post on social media, etc. Whatever it is. So if you're a morning person, then you might want to do some things in the morning to get you going. If you're an evening person, then you might want to do your important tasks then, maybe do some outreach there or whatever it might be, right? So schedule things in, time block to what is the best use of your time. So our task as sales professionals is to focus on the high impact revenue generating tasks. These are usually the ones that are client facing, that are basically our core job, right? So this is what we want to spend our time on, the tasks that drive revenue. So these are the tasks you are doing. Or if you're doing this list for someone else and you're the creator, then you might want to get someone who does these tasks, but you only want them to get these tasks and not bombard them with a lot of admin stuff or whatever. Get a VA for this or whatever it might be. But just to also, this is a great thing to use if you write job descriptions or are hiring people. So you have a list. What are you looking for someone to do? So you can provide them with a very, very clear list of what they are supposed to be doing. If you pay them, that's a great thing to know. What are you paying someone for, right? What are you exactly looking for? So you're not wasting your time and money and resources, and they also are not wasting their time, etc. So win-win. Then we want to go over to the high impact, non-urgent tasks. Things like marketing, etc. We just spoke about all of these tasks. And we do want to see whether we can outsource them, right? To delegate them to someone who is actually better at this, who already has the skill set, who knows how to do this, and who basically can get results quicker for us. And again, it's a great tool to know how much are you paying, and to know, to basically the moment you get analytical and to be able to track your numbers are not lying, to see where does your penny go and what do you get for it? What you put in, what is the outcome? To basically see how effective. I love numbers. I mean, I'm a banker. Well, I used to be a banker, so I love numbers and I find them great. However, I want you to see the beauty of numbers too, because they are really helpful, right? So we want to see, okay, who would be better suited for these tasks. There are great platforms that you can leverage. You can find people. You can hire people by the hour, etc. So to really make it very crystal clear what do you pay for, what do you get out, and then to see where does it lead to, right? So you want to see if you can outsource or delegate these kind of tasks. If there are any tasks that have a low impact but they are kind of like urgent, then we want to see whether we can maybe automate them. So we spoke about the CRM, right? Where we have, for example, customers, we want their data, we want them to subscribe to an email list, etc. So they might be low impact for us at the moment because right now they are not really even a prospect for us. They're just like maybe someone who is interested in an offer, or has heard about this, or wants to access a free lead magnet, whatever it might be, right? So they are not yet ready to buy. However, it's very urgent that we do cover them, and that we get their data, and that we basically have them ready to go, right? So if you can, try to automate this process. Also, great benefit from automating processes like this would be, for example, if you have a sales funnel and maybe a lead magnet is your first point of contact. So whatever, you might go onto Pinterest and upload your lead magnet there, and then someone from Pinterest clicks on this, wants to get the information on the lead magnet, and in order to get the information from the lead magnet, they have to give their data, so they have to give their email address, etc., so you can actually send the lead magnet, right? And while you do this, you also do want to make sure you get the tick of the box of their consent, that they consent to you using the data, saving it, etc. Most providers, I'm not here for legal advice, but most providers would also have a lot of these things already built, and so you do want to make sure you are on the safe side. However, this is a great way to automate things that have at the moment not really a big impact for you right away, but that are really important for you in the long run, or can become important in the long run, and that are urgent because you need to get them done when it happens, right? So you cannot procrastinate on them and not do them at all. So this is something where you might need to take some time in order to figure out what could be your potential lead magnet, etc., and how to build this. But then this is something you set up, and it just happens automatically for you. And then we spoke about the last category, the low impact, or not important and not urgent tasks. Get them out, to delete them, make your life easier, to really get into a lean process. Where can you optimize things? And this is a mindset you might want to adopt over time, where you also can see, how can we make it just more lean? How can we make it more easy? How can we make it simpler? To really simplify your own life, but also make it easier for your customers. So to have a web page that is very easy to use, very intuitive to use, to have an order process that is very easy to use, to see what is your involvement needs, etc. So to really delete things that are unnecessary. Make your life easier. You got my permission to delete things that are neither important nor urgent. So do yourself a favor. If you don't dare to delete things, then make a note and get someone else to help you with things to maybe prioritize, because sometimes if we build things, it can be hard to let go. So yes, I understand. Maybe have a business mentor or someone on your side who holds your hand while you maybe also say goodbye to certain things that are just not working for you, and is there for you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. I do appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Take care.